use this caliper grease, and that'll help quiet things down, make sure all the floating parts are functioning correctly. And so it shows you how to do this on the back. We'll make a video on that, on how to go through and lubricate all those parts. Gonna break the tire loose. I'm gonna jack this thing up and then take the wheel off. There, oh, it's loose, all right. All right, so now we'll run that one loose. Change that out because that's a 17 up here, 12 here. Let's see if we can. And then we'll run that out. So here's our 17 here. Break that loose towards the camera. There's 117. There's our other 17 together, I guess, since we're, but these will come out. So that'll come out. We'll set that to the side for now. And this is the part we want to take out. We're gonna lubricate these so they move freely. This one kind of feels like it's not moving it as good. Now, this pin came out fairly easy. It was moving okay, but I want to clean all that off. I'm also gonna take this bushing off and really clean the part. I'm only going to do one of these at a time because sometimes these can be different pins. So this is our B pin, whichever one's at the top, and then A pin at the bottom. We'll take like a pencil, something that's not going to damage the sides, a wooden dowel, but get in there and clean that old stuff out, because we want it to function like a piston would. Continue to clean this until I don't really get any kind of significant dirt out of it. You notice I'm still getting a little bit there towards the end, so I want to clean all of that out because I don't want it to gunk up the system. Penetrating solvent, normally used to break loose bolts, but you can use it to clean as well. So anything where you really want it clean, but you got to make sure all of this is out before you put your lubricant in. Your Marvel Mystery Oil, I've always found that that's a pretty good solvent to get everything clean, break up any kind of old solvents. So I'll soak a little bit on the rag that I'm cleaning with, and that works good too. Get all of that out. So I like to pour it on whatever I'm going to use, and then just use that to clean it up because I don't want it to break down the new lubricant that I put in. Now, once I've cleaned it out with this rag with the solvent on it, then I go through and I dry it out. And then I'm gonna let it dry for a little bit, but make sure that's good and clean. So now we'll be able to put that lubricant in there without worry that it's gonna be broken down by the solvent. Soak this in some of the solvent and then clean it up. If you don't have time to do that and you've got a Dremel, I just take these little buffing wheels and that'll help buff out some of that. The reason you don't want to use sandpaper, you don't want any rough edges, because think of it like a piston, and you can see this is our B and it's got little flat edges on some of the sides. Where the other one was totally round, this one has edges, so it's not completely round, and we definitely don't want to round those out. So we want to keep that because it functions like a track. But you can just put a little light pressure and then take a buffing wheel and it'll buff out. So I've got that one flipped around just because I had taken it out. But these go back on by pressing them in, and then that'll catch. Sometimes you can have, doesn't have to be excessive, just enough, because we're going to rub that around, so that's actually going to come off of there in just a sec. What you don't want to do is put any here on the tip. Think of it like a piston. So when that gets pressed down in there, that grease won't compress, and so it'll prevent it from freely moving. It could also create a suction down there at the end. So I'm gonna rub that on real quick with my glove. I don't need an excessive amount, but I do want a healthy amount. I'm going to rub that around, but I'm not going to put any on the top. Install this. Let's make sure it moves back and forth pretty good. Yeah, now we can press it down. They don't stick, and that they freely move up and down fairly easy. There we go. Right here on these pads, where it's going to slide back and forth. Let me turn that. I'm going to place a little bit of lubricant right down in here. I don't want to actually get any on the side touching the rotor. But that's going to allow. We're going to put, I've already done it on the other caliper. I'm going to put a little bit of lubricant right here. A little bit on this side here. And the parts that are going to slide up and down. So we've done the 3 points here. So you notice this part always goes towards the bottom. We've got lubricant here on both sides, lubricant here on all 3 sides of that, and lubricant on the back side of that where it's going to slide back and forth. And we did the same thing on the other one that you saw. I'm going to go ahead and put this portion of the caliper on. That goes there. Now if you want, you can go ahead and take those 17s and kind of run those down before you do anything else. It'll help keep everything in its place. So now we did the 3 points here. So we lubricated here, here, and even the back part of that pad where it's going to be squeezed. We're going to put that into place over that pad. So you'll be able to press that in. There we go. See how that moves pretty good. Just going to lubricate these real quick right in here. We'll run those down. So I'm going to run that in there. Do the same thing here. You can see there's a little rust right there. This was that top one that we'd had issue with that we really had to clean. And all those bolts down. Run those down first. Probably gonna have to hold it in place with my. Alright, so I'm gonna go 80 foot-pounds on this. This one, both of these are supposed to be 17 foot-pounds. Get our torque wrench in there. There we go. There's 17 for that one. Brakes real quick, just to get that piston to squeeze out, kind of lock that into place. All right, that looks good. Looks like we're on there. Did our 17s, we did our 14 and 12 there. Everything looks good. We're gonna put the wheel back on and lower it back down, do the other side. There we go, there's that one. That's what you wanna hear. 80 foot-pounds. 80 foot-pounds. 80 foot-pounds. 80 foot-pounds.